if we try it again, we'll try. Yeah.
Bon Air. In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago, angels and archangels may have traveled there. Cherubim and seraphim throng throughout the air. In the bleak midwinter, a stable will suffice for the Lord Almighty, Jesus the Christ. Gloria, Gloria, now my eyes have seen. Soli Deo Gloria, His salvation breathes. What can I give him, humble as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. But what can I give him? I give him my heart. Gloria, Gloria, now my eyes have seen. Soli Deo Gloria, breathes in the bleak midwinter. I may go in peace as the Lord has promised. I will go in peace. Welcome to Unity of Bon Air. Thank you on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's the first week of Advent. And let's stand and say what we know to be true. God is good and all is well. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy found. In a world where many miracles abound, in the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bon Air, where we live and express unconditional love and grow together in peace and prosperity. My name is Amy Corsetti, and I sing with the choir. I work with the Youth and Family Ministries. I have been a prayer chaplain and also have worked on the finance committee. I'm glad to be with you this morning, both in person and online. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time joining us, we are grateful for your presence and participation as we share this special time together. We have come together as part of love's divine purpose that calls each of us forth to celebrate the connection we all share through the holy presence within and all around us that we call God. In this spirit of community, we unfold in light and love all spiritual gatherings, all spiritual and religious gatherings everywhere. And we begin our time together with this special message from our daily word. The words today are hope and faith. My belief in goodness of the world, myself, others, and God begins with hope. Maybe hope is all I can muster after a period of doubt and disappointment. As I feel hopeful, I begin to believe that new possibilities and better outcomes are available to me. My hopeful feelings lead to faith, a certainty that the goodness I could only sense before is the actual nature of life. With faith, I now direct my thoughts towards goodness, wholeness, and my heart's desires. With gratitude for my awakening, I use faith to dismantle doubt and limitation. I hold only the best thoughts for myself. I know and feel in the depths of my soul that the good I desire is already mine. With unwavering faith and deep gratitude, I claim it now. And the scripture for today is Psalm 62:5. For God alone my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from him. And then I'm going to read our affirmation once today, and then I'd like to get you to repeat it with me twice. This Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. Together, this Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. Again, this Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. And now I invite you to look around to the other people in the sanctuary or around the room or the place where you are and recognize the truth of this beautiful song. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
Good morning, Unity. So before we start with an opening prayer, I wanted to start with a Christmas joke. And this is a woman going to the post office, and she gets to the clerk, and he goes, "Well, what denomination do you want?" And she goes, "Oh, good heavens, has it come to this? I need 10 Presbyterian and 10 Catholic and 30 Unity." Oh, we are a world divided in many ways. So let's take a nice deep breath. Just allow ourselves to be here now. Feel yourself supported by the chair. And let this symbolize for you the support of God, of life, of the universe, upholding you in this and every moment. Take another breath and just allow yourself to feel the peace that is the truth of who we are. And we breathe this peace for our whole world. And we embrace our whole human family and invite them into this sacred space that we are creating, and we send this sacred love out where no one is excluded. And we think of all the names in our prayer box, all the prayer letters that were written last year, and those people that we carry concerns about in our hearts and in our minds. If you would like to name them aloud or silently now, we include them in this time. And we acknowledge this one presence and this one power, this amazing power of love is at work in every single life and is calling forth good, is calling forth harmony, is calling forth the deepest peace and the deepest love. And we say thank you for this time we had this week to gather with friends and loved ones and stuff our faces. We say thank you for this community which continues to stand on a vision of a place of unconditional love. And so we close with gratitude today, and I invite us all to say, I am grateful 3 times. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. So if you are a newcomer here today, we especially welcome you. Or if you're a newcomer watching live streaming or watching later, we're so happy you have chosen to be with us. There are newcomer packets by the front door for those who are here, and there's all kinds of information on our website. And if you have any questions, our office is open from 9:30 to 2:30 every day. You can call and ask questions. So I have I have 2 priority announcements today. So we've had the fun of Thanksgiving. I don't know how many of you went out running around shopping on Friday, but we still got more opportunity on Monday to shop. And so we're going to be celebrating Giving Tuesday. After doing all this kind of sharing and spending, where somebody came up with this idea of a global generosity movement that unleashes the power of radical generosity. It was created in 2012 as a simple idea that encourages people to do good, following Black Friday and Cyber Monday that focus on consumer spending. So this day encouraged all of us to use the idea to give the nonprofit organizations that do the work we want to encourage in our communities and in our world. So we have an opportunity to support Unit Ann Arbor on Giving Tuesday. So there's multiple ways, as always, to do this. So if you normally make your tithe and love offering by check, you can make a special donation and mark it Giving Tuesday in the memo line anytime. If you make your tithes and offerings online at unitybonaire.org, use the Give Now button and select Giving Tuesday from the little menu that drops down. And if you are a Facebook user, you can go to our Facebook page, and there's a section that says Giving Tuesday Fundraiser. So here's where, if you really want to have some fun, and you're a Facebook user, this is where the fun comes in. So the Facebook family is donating in matching funds $8 million to the first nonprofits that get in there and hit the Giving Tuesday button. So we invite you, if you want to play this game, to sit in front of your computer, get everything set up so you know exactly what you're doing, and at 8 o'clock you can hit the Give Now, and there's a good chance that your gift will be doubled. So, but my church did this a year ago, and like by 5 after 8, the money was gone. I mean, everybody and their brother are on here at 8 o'clock. So I really am saying if you want to try to do the double thing, you got to get there early. But no matter how or when you do your Giving Tuesday donation, we appreciate your generosity and thank you for sharing with us. Now I have a slide for my second announcement. The sign committee has been hard at work. We've been given a gift to finish the amount of money that was left that we needed. So we have come up with this idea of what we want the sign to look like. And it's hanging in the fellowship hall. So that turquoise and white thing is going to be the very top of the sign, as you can see on the right-hand side. So that's to give you an idea of the size that will be on the road. The person standing next to it gives you an idea. So the bottom is, I can't tell if that's brick or wood, but it's something that's supporting it. Then the red part is digital. So we're going to be able to change our sign, advertise all the wonderful concerts and classes and meals and things we do here, and change it on a regular basis. And then the unity at the top. So we invite you to check it out after service in the fellowship hall, and if you're online, to celebrate with us that the sign will be coming. But it has not been ordered. We're wanting to get everybody in the congregation happy and excited and wanting it, and so we're going through a process. Okay, then the last part is, since we're in the season of Advent, I've asked 4 different chaplains to come light the candle each week, so I've asked Susan to come do that today.
Well, as you heard Amy earlier, today is the first day of Advent, the first Sunday in Advent, and the focus is on hope and faith. And of course, hope is not wishful thinking. Hope is what takes us forward, no matter what's going on around us. And faith is not something you have to find, it's in us always. So we're reminded that it is ours to remember that and to call that forward and to stand firm in that faith. 1 Corinthians, this is from the Unity Advent booklet. In 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, keep alert. Stand firm in your faith. Be courageous. Be strong. And as I light the candle, I'm going to invite you to join me in an affirmation, which is, I remember to stand in the power of my faith. You want to practice it? I remember to stand firm in the power of my faith.
All right, would you please stand and join me in singing? It's the most wonderful time of the year. Feel free to move along with the lilting melody. Here we go. It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmas long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
And please remain standing as we affirm what we believe. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God, the omnipotent good. Got it wrong on the running order. We're actually saying the Lord's Prayer today.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So I have a thing that we're used to singing the words and saying the words, and we do it so often we don't even know what we're saying. So every now and then I'm going to introduce in some words that bring us back to what these words that we're so familiar with. Oh gosh, it's hard to read that. Let's see, can we dim lights? Well, I'm still having trouble. Let's see. Maybe we'll sing. We'll try
Reverend
this
Patty,
another Sunday.
You're practicing vulnerability here. I love it. Our Father, who as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Please be seated. I took my tree down to the shore, the garland and the silver star, to find my peace and grieve no more, to heal this place inside my heart. On every branch I laid some bread, and hungry birds filled up the sky. They rang like bells around my head. They sang my spirit back to life. One tiny child can change the world. One shining light can show the way. For all my tears, for what I've lost, there's still my joy. There's still my joy on Christmas Day. The snow comes down on empty sand. There's tinsel moonlight on the waves. My soul was lost, but here I am. So this must be amazing grace. One tiny child can change the world. One shining light can show the way. Beyond these tears, for what I've lost, there's still my joy. There's still my joy for Christmas Day. There's still my joy for Christmas Day. Thank you.
We simply have the best music ever. So I want to talk to you today about the first Sunday of Advent theme. And I'm calling it the Annunciation, which that comes from my Catholic background. I know all the holy days. And that is the story of when the angel appeared to Mary and the power of vulnerability and faith. So let's look at what is Advent for just a second here. It comes from a Latin word which means to come toward, to draw near, to approach. And so we are moving toward the anniversary of Jesus' birth into human form some 2,000 years ago. And in unity, we are moving toward a reawakening of the Christ presence that is within each of us. And we take a break in Advent from the distractions and busyness of our lives and collectively remember the truth of who we are, that we are each expressions of God. So as we celebrate each year in our liturgical cycle the birth of this one child, we're also celebrating the spiritual birth of each one of us. And here's the chance for these next 4 weeks to open ourselves to the possibility of an even fuller expression of the Christ within, because all of us are evolving and transforming. So we have a slide. Oh, okay, the next slide. Okay, here's the deal. We have an invitation to show up, to be seen, and to answer the call. This is the archetype of the hero or heroine's journey. And it was made famous, this is actually a Brené Brown quote, but it was made famous by Joseph Campbell, who studied all the cultures and all the myths from around the world. And this is how it starts. Whether you are Harry Potter, the Buddha, Jesus, Mary, you, or me. Next slide. Faith is the place of mystery where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of uncertainty. Faith is the underpinning of every spiritual journey. It can start the size of a mustard seed and become the fiber of our being. It's a process so subtle, it's like our fingernails growing. Faith is present. When faith is present, the possibilities are limitless. Okay, next slide. You can't get to courage without walking through vulnerability. Now, Brené Brown is a social science researcher who tests her theories by asking people stories. And she's asked, this impressed me, she asked roomfuls of Navy SEALs. So this is the kind of job I do not want, right? They go do the dangerous, deadly espionage, all that kind of stuff, the really scary stuff. And she said, have you ever done a job that required courage without having to go through being vulnerable? Every single one of them said no, we had to go through vulnerability first. Next one. Vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. To be human is to be in vulnerability. So we, like Jesus the Christ, are this fabulous mixture of divine and human. And so the human part of us has to deal with this vulnerable part. We are spiritual beings that are using this earth classroom and the disguise of humanity. It's simply part of the package. Next slide. We can be our worst selves when we are afraid, or our best, bravest selves. Because the thing to do when we are afraid is to acknowledge it and choose to do it anyway, the thing that we're scared of. Now, this sounds like something, that this quote is another Brené quote. It sounds like something our way shower would have said. When we are in fear, no choice we make is a good choice. Usually it's a reaction and not a response. And that when we're in fear, ego is in control and all the voices are going off in our head. You can't do that. You're too, you're too fat. You're too dumb. You're too whatever. And it's doing its job, which is to create separation. And we get that acronym for ego, edging God out. But the opposite of ego doing that job, well, the opposite of what ego is up to is oneness. Ego is about judging and creating separation. But when we are in our bravest self, that's our self with the capital S, that is connected to our true identity of being one with love, with God, with Source, whatever term you use. The choice, when we're in that space, the choice we make is full of integrity and truth and connection. Next slide. Vulnerability is not about fear, grief, and disappointment. This wonderful truth Brene shares is, it is the birthplace of everything that we are hungry for. So when we want the goodies, we got to go through the vulnerability into the courage. Next slide. Remember, our culture associates vulnerability with fear, shame, and uncertainty. But vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, joy, creativity, belonging, authenticity, change, and love. Don't you want a helping of that? Yeah, give me two. So next one. Vulnerability is not about winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and to be seen when we have no control over the outcome. And here's what I love. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. When we say, yes, I'm on the hero journey, I'm on the spiritual journey, I'm ready to stand into mystery, I'm ready to walk into faith with the conviction that I do not see the good that is coming to me, but I'm ready to walk into that mystery that is all of these things we just named: innovation, joy, creativity, change, and love. Next slide. So here's the meat of it. We cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves, that's the self with a capital S, to be deeply seen and known. Of course, that is our self that is one with divinity. So I want to tell you a story about vulnerability from my life. So I've mentioned probably many times that the first Sunday I showed up here, I had left a marriage of 27 years, was separated, hadn't gone through the divorce, was thinking, should I just give up ministry because I'm a failure at marriage? I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of shame, guilt, all that crap that ego throws at us. And I show up here, and here is Reverend Joyce up here. She's just having the time of her life. And I'm thinking, I think that's what I want. I want that. I want to be serving a church, having the time of my life, expressing who I truly am. So that became like this desire within my heart. So a few weeks later, I was in Joyce's office saying, I want to be a unity minister. And things unraveled from there. So here's the it's not the ending of the story, but we're down 10 years from there. I was speaking several weeks ago, and I was driving home in my car. And all of a sudden, these tears came in my eyes. And I said, oh my God, I'm serving a church, and I'm having the time of my life. Getting to be my authentic self. Thank you. Thank you. But I didn't get there without being vulnerable, without showing up They introduced the chaplains that first Sunday I was here, and they said Susan was the head of them. I said, I'm in so much deep doo-doo, I'm going to the head chaplain. And she prayed with me, and there were tears. It was, messy. That was the vulnerability, but you hang in there with the vulnerability, and you step into the courage, and amazing things happen. So I've invited a special guest to come speak to you for just a minute, and I have to go get her. She's out in the hall. So Lucy's going to play for you for a second. Okay, is this? Thank you, Lucy. So you might recognize me. There's been lots of artwork with me in the picture. I'm Mary from Galilee. And Patty asked me to come and share with you from my heart. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. So you've heard the story about when the angel Gabriel showed up in my life. I was like 15 years old. I was engaged to a man, and hear this, and I can tell you, I don't know if this was a vision or this angel was actually there. It seemed real enough, but you never know about visions and the way God speaks to us. But here is this being of light, and this being greets me saying, Mary, you are favored by God. Well, I wasn't sure if that was good news or bad news. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, you are going to have a son, and you are going to name him Jesus, and he is going to reign over his ancestor David's kingdom forever and ever. And I'm thinking, I said, wait, how is that going to work? And this being said, the Holy Spirit will overshadow you, and you will conceive, and you will bear this child. And there was like this vibrating within me. There was this light I could feel within me that everything was resonating with what this being was saying to me. And the only thing I could say was, I am the Lord's servant. Do it unto me as you have said. I mean, I didn't even have to think about it. There was something so sacred that touched such a deep, deep place in me. Because if I'd had a chance to think about it, there would have been a lot of voices going off saying, well, they stone women who get pregnant and aren't married. Or would have said, I don't know anything about raising a baby. I could have had lots and lots of objections. But there was this place within me that knew this was mine to do. And so as we enter this time of year, I want to talk to you about how God speaks to you, how God shows up in your life and extends this invitation, because this story isn't the story that we value and tell every year. It isn't about a baby being born. It's about the presence of the Christ in each one of you, and that presence coming to life and turning your world upside down, just like it turned my world upside down. It's about having something so immense happen within you that you begin to turn from listening to this voice of our ego that has lots of disgusting things to say to us and it never runs out of them, to listening to the voice of Spirit, of Christ, and honoring that voice, and stepping forward in courage to whatever that invitation that voice extends. Because here's what I know, and I suspect you know this, but I want you to remember it. You are beings of light. You have the light of the Christ within you. You have all the characteristics of the Christ. You have deep faith. You have the power of love. You have the ability to move mountains, just like my son had. Because there's no difference between the power that was in my son and the power that is in each one of you. There's no difference. It's this life-giving, love-growing power that changes lives. So Christmas Day really isn't one day. It's every day, every morning when we wake up. We make the choice of what voice we're going to listen to and whether we are going to be vulnerable enough to step into courage into those places in our lives where we're not sure what's happening next. And step in it not with trepidation, but with deep faith and confidence that the conviction is God the good is underneath, in, through all of it. So just as I said yes to this little baby, and I want you to take a moment and just think of holding a baby in your arms. What feeling does that bring up? When you have something that innocent, that sacred, that full of love, what image does that bring up? What feelings? Oh my God, they're just fabulous, aren't they? That's what's wanting to be born in you. The feelings of pure love, pure innocence. The ability to walk in a room and simply because you are listening to the voice of the Christ, the people in that room gain courage to become who they are. Because your presence makes it possible, because the presence of love is the miracle. That is the miracle of Christmas. That's who you are. You are extraordinary. You are light shining in the darkness. You are divinity. And all of us have had some sense of that, some expression of that, but there's always more waiting to be fully expressed. So I invite you to say yes every single morning when you wake up and you decide that you want to be that light. You want to be that presence that makes a difference with every person you encounter, with every creature you encounter, with every situation in which you find yourself, because it is within you to do just exactly what my son did, who became a man and impacted people so deeply that their lives were forever changed. That power is within you. I see it. I affirm it. I bless it. And so it is. So we're going to move into a little time of silence. And I'm going to invite you to let Mary's words, what words stood out to you, or maybe Spirit has some other words would like to speak to you in this time of stillness. But this is the voice we want to listen to. The voice of the Holy One. So here we go, down into the depths of our being. So as we come back together, we just stand or sit in wonder that this amazing power of love is the truth of who we are. It's ever inviting us to be the fullest expression of the Christ within ourselves. Let gratitude well up within us. And let's say thank you 3 times. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. So my ushers are in the back. Our ushers, they can come forward. And I invite you to take your offering, if it's in physical form, and hold it in your hand as we say this blessing. And if it's not, you can just imagine it in your mind. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving. More music from our wonderful team.
Jesus, oh Jesus, what a wonderful child. Jesus, oh Jesus, so lowly, meek and mild. New life, new hope, new joy he brings. Oh, won't you listen to the angels sing? Glory, glory, glory to the newborn King. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, what a wonderful child. Oh, Jesus, sweet Jesus, so lowly, meek and mild. hope, new joy he brings. Won't you listen to the angels sing? Glory, glory, glory to the newborn King. He was heralded by the angels, oh, in a lowly manger. The Virgin Mary was his mother, and Joseph was his earthly father. 3 wise men came from afar. They were guided by a shining star to see King Jesus where he lay in a manger filled with hay. Oh, oh, Jesus, oh, Jesus, oh, oh, what a wonderful child. Jesus, oh, sweet Jesus, vulnerable, meek and mild, yeah. New life, new joy, new hope it brings. Won't you listen to the angels sing? Glory, glory, glory to the newborn King. Lucy! What a wonderful child, oh, Jesus, sweet Jesus, so humble, meek and mild. New hope, new joy, new life he brings. Won't you listen to the angels sing? Glory, glory, glory to the newborn King. Glory, glory, glory to the newborn King. Yeah.
Yes. Rockin' in the church. So let us bless these tithes and gifts. Oh, we are so grateful for not just these offerings that are in the basket, but for the gift of every person here today. We just send blessings out on these gifts, that as they go out into our community, hearts are touched, love is felt, and community is created. And we say, so it is by the power of our one way shower, our leader, our one who taught us how to love, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Wasn't that fun, everyone? The whole thing, the service, the music. I'm grateful to be a part. Okay, we're going to talk about some transformational opportunities. And we're going to start with Rhonda.
Good morning, Unity family. It's such a blessing to be here today, and I'm just so thankful for each and every one of y'all. I wanted to personally thank all of the volunteers that have done all the shopping and going to do shopping with me today, as well as the ones that all the Santas is going to help me on Tuesday. So wanted to give a big shout out for that, and we're moving along and everything's going very well. So I appreciate all the donations, and anyone that still want to give for today. We still have some envelopes right outside on the table, right outside the door here on the side on the left. And anyone that online, you can also go on unitybonair.org and make your donations there as well. So I thank you and have a blessed week. Thanks.
Thanks, Rhonda. She's been heading up that Christmas Mother project for a very long time. Okay. Before we move on to the announcements, we want to give a huge thank you to Barbara Spicer. Barbara, woohoo! Barbara had another very successful Brunswick stew sale for us last Sunday and created an amazing Thanksgiving Day experience for several people here at Unity of Bonnier, and we are grateful for Barbara. This evening, our speaker for the spiritual practice gathering is Reverend Alva Kershaw, who will speak on the topic of callings. Yay, Alva, she's back there. Alva will guide us to explore and discuss identifying and pursuing purpose, which ought to be a good tie-in with what we talked about today. She will be pulling from Greg Lavoie's book titled Callings, Finding and Following an Authentic Self. Join in person or on Zoom at 5 o'clock. Next Sunday, December 5th at 11, come hear Reverend Patty's message titled The Gift of Peace Now. We are often anxious and worried. How do we discover the peace that's always available, even in a society full of comparisons, competition, and judgment? Come listen to how we can choose the gift of peace here and now and always. Again, this year, we have holiday bags available for our at-home congregation. The bags include all the supplies you need for participating from home in all of the holiday services. And from now all the way through the Whitestone ceremony in January, you can stop by Unity of Bonaire during office hours, Mondays through Friday, 10 to 2, to pick up a bag for yourself and others who are going to be participating in services remotely. And guess what next Saturday is? Sacred Service Saturday. Oh, we got a super sacred service Saturday over there. That's a lot of S's. It's coming Saturday, December 4th from 9 to 3. You can come for a little while or come for the whole day. Sacred Service Saturday is your opportunity to give back to the spiritual community you love, including a lunch served by volunteers for the volunteers. And there are opportunities for everybody. I like the way they have this broken down. For those who love to be outdoors, there'll be opportunities to tidy up the garden for winter, clearing leaves and branches. For those who are comfortable in the kitchen, you can volunteer by bringing food for the lunch or by preparing, serving, and cleaning up. For those who love preparing for the holidays, there will be indoor opportunities decorating our lovely facility for the winter season. And there is a monstrous tree that goes in that front atrium. And please let us know if you will be attending so we can prepare. Those in person can sign up on the bulletin board, and those at home can call the office during the office hours to sign up. Then we make sure we have enough food and enough people in all the slots. The next Sunday, December 5th, after the service, we are having a pop-up holiday shop. We will be all decorated for your holiday shopping. Our featured vendor will be Pompona, if I've got that right, a recent shuttered local gift shop that will be selling off inventory with part of the proceeds going to support scholarship fund for the Village Montessori Academy. Delightful gift items will include greeting cards, teas, jams, and other children items, and chocolates. Yay for chocolate. Also, our UBA bookstore will have wonderful options for your holiday gifts, including used books for sale on a love offering basis. Would you like to be a pop-up vendor on December 5th? Contact Unity of Bonaire to sign up and share your gift and craft items for sale on this one special day. Please call by Friday, December 3rd to reserve your table space. Our service of remembrance this year will be even more special. On Saturday, December 11th at 5 p.m., we will be having a remembrance service and concert in person and on live stream. As we gather in remembrance, we can allow the magic of music to soothe us as we participate in our sacred time to honor loved ones and circumstances that have passed. Featuring musical artist is our own Pazzi Award-winning Claudia Carawan. Woo, Claudia! As well as Cindy Jennings, who is a therapeutic musician and the founder of the Healing Harps, and singer-songwriter Matt Treacy. Yep.
Harp, which will be exciting to have a real harpist here in the house. Just wanted to mention.
Okay, that'll be fun. And a gentle reminder to continue to wear these masks while you're inside the building. And for fellowship coffee, please enjoy your food and beverage and put your mask back on while you're continuing with your conversations. Let's keep each other safe for the holidays and beyond. Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you today. If those who are present would please stand. All prayer requests are kept confidential. Thank you to our prayer chaplains. Okay, back to Patty.
So is YFM? Yep, come on in, YFM.
As the light, we are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
Good morning. We were a little light this morning, but we had the best here. We had Macy. Today, of course, was the first Sunday of Advent, and so we talked about Advent and hope and faith as being our first Sunday topic. And we started watching the little videos. For any of you that don't know, there was a minister with Unity year before last, I guess it was, that made 4 little Advent videos for the kids using a puppet show kind of form. And so we watched Pancho and his friends today as well. And Myra had asked if our YFM could help contribute to our Garden of Lights and do some decorations for the gazebo. So we've started that project. We have a long way to go, but we did some garlands of different colors and different sizes, and we tried snowflakes, but weren't as successful with those. And then Macy made these adorable, we're going to figure out how to hang them, these adorable origami foxes and their little babies to go with it. So that's what we did today. Thank you.
Let's give our blessing. Love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. And we see you doing amazing things. Thank you. So we have many people to thank for today being a possibility. So we had people greeting at the door, and then Marcy working with the bookstore, people in the fellowship hall getting yummies ready for us there. We had ushers serving us, and we had Dan, Veronica, and Sherry in the back, and our magnificent musicians. So we are so blessed. Let's say thank you to all of them. Oh, and to Amy, too, for leading us from the platform. So, is my slide up there? Yes. But the service is now ended, and our ministry of love continues. Before we start singing, Mary was supposed to tell you something, and she forgot. You know, you have these guest speakers, you never know what they're going to do. So I have a basket of seeds, and they look pitiful, but they're, oh gosh, Susan, what flower has the name Susan in it? Black-eyed Susans. These are little packets of seeds. There are probably maybe 20 to 50 seeds in each little packet. So as you go into the winter, I want you to take a packet of seeds home, and as you see this packet, ask yourself, what seeds and consciousness are you planting that's allowing for the deeper and further birth of the Christ within you? So let's go on to our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family honor. Let us walk with each other in perfect
my joy